Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Matt and John Make a Podcast. This is episode 78 of the podcast. And man, we have a jam-packed show this week, Matt. Needless to say, a lot of things happened. And since it's kind of
Yep.
extremely fresh in our minds, the first topic that we're gonna be talking about is the news of Gina Carano, who starred in Mandalorian, but that is no longer the case now, as it was reported late last night, which that would be on like Wednesday night, that she had been fired. Matt, what's your first reaction upon this news
Um,
here?
it was uh, well, first off, for the the actress and the character in the Mandalorian, I was upset, sad to see her go,
Mm-hmm.
but the on the other side, I was not surprised based
Oh,
on earlier comments she made. I guess in the last several months.
mm-hmm.
Um, those comments, the earlier comments, and things she posted on her
Social
Twitter
media, yeah, yeah.
Twitter bio, specifically the beep boop blop or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
kind of taking a jab at the pronouns people putting in, um, like stuff like that. Like I I I didn't think were really a fireable offense.
No, I ain't
Maybe
either.
at worst, maybe at the worst, maybe like what do you call those things? Sensitivity class or his stuff like that. I don't know. I think, and then other stuff. I don't know if there was fireable, uh, and that was evident because she wasn't. Um, and then apparently there was reports of Disney was going to give her like her own spin-off show. And they were going to announce it in November, whenever they're
In like December, they were all set to announce it, but her social media posts, everything,
yeah,
pretty much you like. I just had the feeling I was like sooner or later something is going to happen and she's going to get like let go. And I'm not saying that she's either wrong or like she is right, but just knowing how like Lucasfilm and Disney operate as far as their politics are concerned, I knew this was only a
yeah,
matter of time, you know?
yeah. And then she said, talking about um the what was it? I gotta pull it. I gotta pull it up. Was it the Jews? It
Yeah, yeah,
wasn't.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't the Nazi. It was their neighbors attacking them
Hmm.
because of the influence, I guess, of the Nazis.
Right.
Um, which I think somebody said research was technically historically accurate, that like that influence like of just being manipulated, um, and being hated, I think is
Hmm.
accurate. So as I'm reading like up to that point and then getting that background information, it's like, okay, nothing's wrong.
Yep.
Oh, then comparing, um,
Republicans to the
it's,
to
well, at least the political climate, a bit, at least
mhm.
being attacked
Yeah.
for your opinion, and it's just like, hey, he's not coming. There's no turning.
Yeah.
There's
And 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 uh, as seen by the reaction, Matt, it's like it's been really 50-50 because I've seen a ton of people just completely just crap on shit on her, just saying it's about time that they finally fire her. But there's also a lot of people really mad. Hell, I believe actually that like had had like cancel Disney Plus was actually trending when this was going on.
Yeah, I did see that
Yeah,
side of the
so
coin.
like there was a lot of people really pissed off, and like I just knew that pretty much regardless of what Disney and like Lucasfilm decided, there was going to be people really
There,
really pissed off, you know.
that hashtag probably would have trended either way.
Hmm.
More so because they fired her, and it's more mainstream.
Yeah.
Uh, but not saying that if she still posted what she posted, that wouldn't get out. Like you would see news. Look what Gina Carano tweeted out or Instagram, whatever,
Right, right.
and then people would call for her getting fired if Disney didn't fire her, or more specifically Lucasfilms. Then it'd be like, I'm going to cancel Disney Plus because they're uh, anti-Semitic or whatever. So it was going to be a problem either way, most
Yeah.
likely.
Hmm.
So if you're Disney, um, I mean, it's not like this was like the first thing, and then like okay, like hey, you apologize. We're gonna do some stuff. You do it again, you're out. It was a history of saying stuff of varying degrees um, of offensiveness. Is that
Yeah.
a
Hmm.
right way to say it? Um, so I feel like if you're Disney and you're running a business and the image you have, like, you kind of had to. I mean,
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at, and again, I'm not saying that what she said was like right, but it's like
yeah,
they're thinking this from a strictly a business perspective, and some would even argue, well, we can argue that them firing her is going to also affect their business. I was like, is it like it's
it,
like it's
it's
such
a,
a big a big successful business with like with Disney and like Lucasfilm that it doesn't matter, you know. It's just
yeah. Was it gonna really hurt their bottom line?
no,
No.
absolutely not.
It's just I think the I think the pros outweigh the cons of firing her.
Hmm.
Because I would like to figure that more people upset that she is gone and then
Hmm.
are actually going to cancel are less than the other side would have been. Because
And
there's no way to turn around from not doing anything
mhm,
from somebody who said something like that and has
right.
said stuff in the past
Hmm.
compared to,
and
excuse me, you did something
right.
because somebody's been saying stuff like that for.
Mhm. Yeah, go on.
Uh, I think it's just optics in the business sense. It's obviously is the right move.
Hmm.
Um, with Disney again, like you said, would Disney hurt from it?
No.
Um, no, unless like the majority of subscribers just went away,
Yeah,
which
and
that would be the only. That's when it would crush you because Disney
I will
Plus is everything.
I will
But I
say,
doubt that
yeah,
wasn't going to happen.
I will say this though: the fact that that they still have a Pedro Hidalgo employed is kind of, there's definitely some inconsistencies with how they like judge people because just like based on the things that like he has done and he has said, and I think actually that I think I saw a post before we jumped on here where Pedro Pascal I think tweeted something. I'm not sure if it was something similar back in 2018 about like Nazis and like politics and shit. I should probably actually look that up. And like people were bringing
I
that
I
up. Here,
I
Oh yeah,
to be fair,
yeah,
because when people brought that up, I totally forgot who he was, and I found out. I just
right.
refreshed myself.
Okay,
I
okay,
think
fair.
the
I found
the
it.
emotions are not to be shared tweet.
No, no.
I is is to me is nowhere near
Hmm.
what she tweeted.
Yeah,
Like that's just somebody, being dumb, and like emotions are not to be shared is no way to me at face value
hmm,
more offensive or more fireworthy than what she said. I
yeah.
mean, could they have got rid of him? Sure, but I don't agree with people comparing the two
I don't
because
either.
it's
It's
down. It's
like
that's a
they're not
little no.
comparable to me. Like I
That's just
think
kind of yeah.
I think we're like just like people make that comparison way too often, and to me, I feel like that they don't actually know what that actually stands for. In my opinion, there it's just like I mean, like hell, Matt, how many times did like we see people comparing them Trump to to like Hitler
All
or
the time.
it's just like it's just like
It's still happening.
it's still happening. And again, not saying they all are like right or like wrong, but it just it's thrown around like it's absolutely
The
nothing, you
the
know.
the yeah the normal I like to say the normalization of Nazis or using the phrase Nazis for a party that you don't agree on
Yeah.
or Trump in this instance I think is I think gone too far
Yep. I agree.
now to the point of like insurrection stuff
Hmm.
that like to me that you know is the extreme case
Hmm.
um of just of his deep loyal following
Hmm.
um of that but to say like to compare any group of people like unless like they went into the Capitol and like start well I guess they were trying to, I mean they could have but like
I
just
did.
killing masses and masses of people
Well, like,
like
like like not that specifically, but they stormed
yeah
the Capitol, though. But yeah, yeah,
right but that's not now I'm not like a specific history buff here so if I get my a fact wrong here I apologize please correct anybody please correct me but like we're not I don't think we're trying to do like create a superior race and eliminate people, or at least
I would hope
Trump
not.
people. It's I think normalizing that word, that group of people, and just throwing it out there, just as in just calling the group of
Yeah.
people that
Mhm.
I think is just I think is wrong too,
Yeah.
and nobody says anything about it.
No.
Again, Gina Carano does that. Again, not saying it was right. It was wrong.
Hmm.
Everybody loses their mind. Rightly, they should.
Right.
But if people generally on the left is attacking it to attack the right in terms of the Trump, say nobody's like, how dare you call why you can't call these people Nazis or a specific person a Nazi or
Right.
compare a specific person to Hitler like and mean it it's not a thing again both sides what she said and what other people are saying totally wrong in my opinion
Hmm.
and it's just comparing using I don't know Nazis as a attack or a comparison or what have you I think
it just
People's wrong
further
on both sides.
just further confirms that it's just the freaking political climate in this country right now. It's just at an all time high as far as like of like how toxic that it like really is right now. And
You
this
can't have the debates. You
nope,
can't have a
nope.
conversation.
And that is something that I think was even confirmed here. It's like you can't really explain yourself. It's like if you say a certain thing, that's you're
You're
in
out.
like deep shit. Yeah, I mean, and again, not saying that person that whatever that person has said is right or wrong.
Yeah,
It's just kind of how it is sort of
there's
thing.
a
And
team pack, if that's the right phrase, mentality when it comes to political parties that
absolutely.
my team has to win at all cost, and boo, like you support that other party, how dare you have
And
that mind, and then everybody on one side is the same as the extreme people on that same side, or the crazy people, and then
it's
everybody gets
like
lumped into it. And then when it comes to like elections, as much as like election night, I like following all that stuff. It's always interesting, but like the
if
team, like how dare, like my party is the only way this country can get better,
right, yeah, it's like
and
it's
like
our way or the highway,
yeah,
so to
like it
speak.
has to be our way.
Yeah.
If like the country's doomed if the other party wins, and
Hmm.
I'm like, we've been, we'll be okay. I think we'll be okay for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe
it's
it's not perfect by any stretch of the imagination, of in just terms of everybody's well-being, on a either a group or individual basis.
mhm.
But like, it's not like if the Democrats win, country is doomed.
Mhm.
If the and vice versa, um, it's just like people get too crazy. I've seen it with friends on Facebook. Just
Oh yeah.
it's not even having a difference of opinion. It's like how like angry some people get.
And
Like,
it's on like both sides too. It's not
it's
just
yeah, it is both sides.
it's not just
Say this
on the
this
right
yeah.
or
The,
on the left.
just
It's on
say
both
it's
sides.
one side is proving the point of political blinders on,
Yeah.
when in terms
And
of my side can't do no wrong. And it's hilarious because you see it, you have one side point out of something the other side's doing or they did, and now they're flip-flop or doing the opposite of what they said. But you can easily probably find the same thing happening
I see
with
it every
that
day.
side.
Every day I log onto Twitter, I see it every
Yeah,
day, and
and it's just like,
it's what like Joe Rogan said. We're at the point now where where we are too busy trying to convince other people that our points are correct without actually having an actual conversation and going in with an open mind to try and educate yourself on a
yeah,
particular
and
issue, you know.
yeah, and it's sometimes it's hard for me. Admittedly, I say I try to have an open mind, but then you
Same.
get into that.
It's very hard to and
That
it's
when you
very hard
somebody
to.
brings up a point and you're wrong, it's easy to get defensive and be like, no. I admit
No,
I
Matt,
do it all the time.
we are professional wrestling fans, as like and like how passionate that we are about certain people who we like or like who we don't like, or sports teams who we hate
Yeah.
or we don't hate. It's just it's like we are like human beings. Like it's just
Oh, it's just like, yeah, it's
like
like when Roethlisberger wasn't rated high,
right.
and back at middle of the season when they were still
Oh
undefeated.
yeah,
Like, how dare you?
hell, like it's just like it's just you know people think that everyone should think absolutely rationally. It's just it, it ain't gonna happen just because we
Yeah,
are
and
very flawed people, you know.
I had, yeah. Back to the politics
Mhm.
thing. I think I did mention this before, like probably in the summer when this happened, and not using any names. I don't think this person would be even watching this, so it's okay. That somebody did a post on Facebook about um, how, in comparison to California, how many like states, almost like Midwestern states, have the same amount of power in the Senate. I think I'm just going to use the Senate or Congress with like the same population compared to the one state, California, that has the same population as like 5, 6 different states,
Yeah.
and and they were saying how it wasn't fair, and I made the dumb mistake of commenting because I couldn't.
Do not hit send, man. Just do not hit send.
I know, but that was it already happened because my brain hurt, and I was like, that's why there's the House of Representatives, because you know California has more say in that
Right.
compared to the Senate, which has equal representation
Hmm.
of all that.
Right.
And I how dare I, not even condescendingly brought up, what was it, the oh New Jersey, the Virginia Compromise, where I forget which state. It's killing me that help uh, bring the two chambers that help create. Okay, we're gonna have one chamber of Congress be Senate. Everybody gets 2 votes, and the House of Rep, uh, whoever has the most state population gets the most votes. Whoever has the least population in the state gets the least amount of votes.
Right.
And that was your compromise to get 2 houses, chambers, whatever, of Congress. So you have representative both sides, and like they were having none of that. And they were like offended that I was like, how, like, they even private messages me saying how, like, you could have just moved on, like
Right.
prove a point. And like and we were having this back and forth in the comments. I'm like, you have the House of Reps, and they're still saying it's not fair to have all these how these states. It didn't make any sense to still have all these states still outcast more votes technically. If everybody votes, then one thing. And I'm like, but then the counter argument is then they don't care, then they don't matter as the same as California, just because I'm going on the limb here and I have no way to prove this, that maybe those Midwestern states are more Republican than the Democratic, usually blue state of California. And I'm like, I I don't know. I don't know what to say. But like,
Yeah.
you can't have it both ways.
Oh, no,
And
it's
like
just
it's just something like that. Like, and I wasn't trying to be mean about it. Like, I was like, my brain hurt because I can't believe that was a thought. But I was just trying to have a conversation,
mhm.
and I was getting upset because I just can't believe we have that solution. But like, I tried to do it civilized, and maybe throwing out the compromises and all that maybe came off a little dickish. But but
Fortunately, sometimes those
it
conversations are
was
gonna
it was
come down like that.
yeah. But I like, this is what happened. This was history. Like, I you can't. And then I don't know. Like, if I don't know. If I keep going, we'll be here all day for the one
Yeah.
point I was going to make. But anyways,
Okay.
but
Well,
that's yeah. I don't know.
well then, I think that's probably good. Time to then probably move on then. So now we're going to get into some Super Bowl talk here. So as you guys know, last Sunday was Super Bowl 55, and Matt, I was expecting a competitive game, an interesting game. Hell, the only thing that was interesting and fun was Kevin Harlan's commentary
Take off,
on the
pull up your pants, take
on the
off the
streaker.
bra, and be a man.
Man,
Greatest line ever uttered in human history.
yes, and I am, and I'm not shitting you guys. That was the best part of the game. It just, my God, this was. I mean, it was kind of close in the first quarter, and then second quarter, and to be perfectly honest, Matt, if Tampa Bay didn't get like held on the goal line there, a pretty good chance it's like what 28 to 6 or 28 to 9
Something.
at halftime.
Yeah. It
This
didn't.
thing
Way it didn't matter. Yeah.
this thing was essentially over by halftime, and even at half, you were like, okay, well, Kansas City has the ball back. You know, if they
Yeah.
score
I'm like,
a
yeah.
touchdown,
I'm
like,
like, okay, we got Mahomes. Maybe they'll come out. Halftime adjustments, you see it all the
yeah,
time. They come
right.
back, maybe make it somewhat competitive and make it
Mhm.
interesting. But no, the only thing Kansas City won was the coin toss,
Yeah,
pretty
and
much.
man, just
And that was luck.
you just look at the stats here, Matt. Patrick Mahomes, who, well, by the way, was only sacked 3 times, which he probably should have been sacked like 8 or like 9 times in
That's
this game.
amazing somehow.
And apparently ESPN did a special stat as far as like yards where he actually actually ran outside or inside of the pocket and like scrambling outside. He almost ran for almost 500 yards just trying to escape from the consistent onslaught. And man, if you guys didn't realize how important that offensive line play is, this game is where it was won and where it was lost because Tampa Bay just punched Kansas City in the freaking mouth and they had no answer. And you got to tip your cap for that Tampa Bay defense, man, because they just shut down that vaunted Kansas City offense. Now, I knew going into this game that Kansas City was really inconsistent this year. So I was like, this is going to be a tight game, a close game. Yeah, but boy was I wrong because this was by far Patrick Mahomes' worst game as a pro, and it just showed you that no matter how good you are as a quarterback, if your offensive line play is shit, they will make any quarterback look average, and that is a
Yeah.
perfect example here. He, Alec Mahomes, went 26 of 49 for 270 yards. His QBR was at 49.9. Um, and they had zero running game whatsoever. Um, whereas with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that was a different story because I'm gonna pull up the stats here real quick. Um, um, so as far as like running, they ran I think for over 130 yards, I believe, in this game. Yeah, they ran for over 130, 100 to 40 yards in this game, and Tom Brady 21 of 29 for 43 touchdowns, and only threw for 201 yards. So this whole like narrative, man, that it was strictly Tom, no. I mean, I wasn't surprised that he was named Super Bowl MVP. However, that that freaking defense is what it was the was the absolute story of this game.
Yep.
And the fact that Kansas City didn't even score a touchdown,
Yeah, that
which
blew my mind.
they didn't score a touchdown in this game, which was just I just baffled me. It's just wow. And this was by far the biggest blowout, I believe, since Super Bowl. Let's say it was like 50 or 51. It was the game with the Seattle Seahawks and the Denver Broncos, where that ended up in 43 to 8 there. And yeah, and now Matt Tom Brady has 7 Super Bowl rings. He now has more Super Bowl rings than any other franchise currently, and him being absolutely trashed yesterday was some of the funniest things I have ever seen. And I was like, damn it, Tom, if you keep this up, you're gonna actually make me like you now. And I freaking hate myself right now for saying that. But man, it's crazy. And Matt, what's even crazier, they're pretty much bringing back their their same team, they're like same team next season. Like it's they could very well become Super Bowl champions again, which is not
Mate, yeah.
out of the realm
Yeah.
of possibility. If this team is healthy, I mean, just that defensive line, that offensive line isn't going anywhere. And as long
Right.
as Tom is healthy, which I mean, he's going to be 44 this year, and he's still playing at a freaking high.
Hello? Well, I don't know what happened. Maybe my internet went down. I don't know. Like, you guys saw John like froze after saying Tom Brady was is on a different level or whatever, and Zoom just crashed, and there was a brief black screen here. Luckily, I paused the recording, and I think we're all good now.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
as I was saying, pretty much regardless of what Tom did, his legacy wasn't set. Was there was nothing that was going to change it. If anything, it just I think proved even his like biggest doubters that he is the absolute greatest of all time. And just gotta tip your cap. And now,
Yeah.
the question is going to be, can this team repeat? Which I was getting on to saying, they're pretty much are bringing back the same team there. You know,
Can they? Could they? Yeah. Will they? I want to say no because it's just so damn difficult to do
it is.
in this
But
league.
I will say though, if there's a conference to have that done though, it's in the NFC. If they were in the AFC, man, I think that would be a lot more harder. But at the same time, though, we still have the off season, and as we are going to see, man, there's going to be a lot of them moving around, and there's still the actual matter of determining what the salary cap is going to be, because apparently there's a like report out there that the NFL is trying to like have done their new like TV contracts, and supposedly if those TV contracts are getting done, that the salary cap for this offseason could skyrocket up to 198 not $98 million, which would be 18 million dollars more than 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 what was originally predicted there. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a wild offseason, and now we are now without actual football for the next what 7 months here. So as we as we like move into like hockey, and like baseball season is coming up as well there. Um, so so Matt, any other thoughts about the Super Bowl that you want to
What
say
did you
about the Super Bowl
yeah, what did you
commercials there?
yeah, well, what did you think of the halftime show?
Um, it was okay. I know that a lot of people hated it, so I didn't really have a strong I didn't
I
have a
mean,
strong
yeah.
oh opinion. Um, to be honest, it was okay. I mean, I know that a lot of like my mom's friends hated it, hated it, but just like but I also saw a lot of people, a lot of
Yeah.
of people liked it too. So it's yeah,
Yeah, I
pretty
had
much
no I mean, I like most of Weekend's music, a couple of his songs. So I was
same.
like, I
So,
know that song.
mm-hmm.
Um I mean, it is what it is with pandemic stuff and obviously pre-recorded and all that great stuff. The memes coming out of it were great. That was the
Hilarious,
best thing was when he's in like
and
the mirrors.
they're still going on too. By the way,
Yeah.
for this,
Um, he officially killed the Bernie memes.
yeah,
Uh,
and that was like, and this meme has now replaced it.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, but
Well,
yeah,
favorite commercial.
yeah, um, like the Eminem's one. That was
Yep.
good. Probably the one that I liked the most. We also got a Falcon and like Winter Soldier trailer. That was cool.
Yeah.
Um,
I like
um,
the oh my god,
was it the
Tracy Morgan one. The
yeah, yeah,
difference between I don't know whatever the difference was. I don't know or whatever.
right,
That
right,
was funny.
yeah.
That was good. I did appreciate the Paramount Plus, Paramount Network.
They were
Like,
pushing that hard on the Super Bowl. Like
yeah.
they spent a good penny on that on those ads there. You know.
If it's on their own network, are they actually spending money to put it on there?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well, to make it. I mean,
Paramount, yeah,
yeah,
Paramount.
to make it.
I completely forgot they're
Yeah,
under
but I
the
did.
CBS
Yeah,
umbrella there. Yeah,
or CBS is under their
I'm like a Viacom,
whatever.
right?
Yeah, yeah, or
Yeah,
something.
yep,
Whatever it is.
Viacom. Yeah.
Yeah, but I did appreciate the stories. They were kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I like the Doritos 3D one.
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey and bringing those back. Um, I can't think of any other ones off the top of my head right now. But those
Yeah,
were
I
the
mean they
ones
were
that stood out to me.
yeah, yeah. They were interesting. I'll say that, but so
Yeah,
yeah, that was the Super Bowl, guys. And yeah, we'll be talking about the NFL pretty often, I feel, because as I said, there's gonna be a lot of like moving around. But now we're gonna get into episode 5 of WandaVision. So yeah, Matt, things are happening, and man, that cliffhanger at the end of the episode we see is Quicksilver, and not just any Quicksilver, it's the X-Men
yeah.
Quicksilver, which
I'll
that
admit,
that threw me through a freaking loop right there. I'm like, what?
I'll admit, initially, I didn't know who he was. I totally forgot who
Yeah,
that
yeah,
person was because the last time I saw an X-Men movie, I think in theaters, was it Days of
days
Futures Past or whatever the hell.
of future past. Yep,
When in the scene that comes to
which was
mind is
really
when they
good.
was
Which
there in the
was
kitchen and he was not stop time, he was just fast and just
yeah.
doing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I totally, when I first saw it, I was like, okay, it's somebody playing Quicksilver. Okay. And then I do I knew, and I need to stop doing this. every morning to see if WandaVision how WandaVision's trending because of course one, dumbass, of course it is, and two, they have WandaVision and underneath they have like little topics, and I saw Pietro, so I knew okay, there's gonna be Pietro in there. So I'm like, oh, that could be anything. So I wasn't really spoiled if they said like X
Yeah,
Men or
I
I'm
didn't
like
see.
okay,
All the only thing I knew was that a friend of mine tweet out the like multiverse is I'm here. I'm like, oh shit, what the hell happened?
yeah,
And so I just like shut off all social media. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna
yeah.
watch this before I, I get before I get
But
spoiled here. And
yeah, but then when I read up and I saw who was playing it, and I'm like, interesting.
yeah,
Oh my god.
the bigger
Ki-
question is like, I'm not sure if like you like picked this up, man, but like Wanda, she was shocked.
Yeah,
Like it looked like that she didn't do that specifically.
yeah,
So my question is, who's actually pulling the freaking the strings here?
yeah. And
Um,
if
yeah,
yeah, if she didn't do that,
who did?
who did? Was he in there the whole time
Mm-hmm.
in Westview, or did he just? How did he appear? Did if anybody's not pulling the strings, was it
Exactly.
the a ripping multiverse, whatever the hell?
Uh-huh.
Um, I guess I, I and I kind of almost right that we were talking about the Luke Skywalker like reveal type of thing. I'm thinking, was that it? Because it was coincidence that came out, and then episode 5 happened.
Yeah, like one or the person who plays WandaVision, she hinted that was gonna pop up. I was like, well, that could definitely qualify as that, but I definitely feel like that we're gonna be getting a few more reveals here, um, and we also saw in this episode Wanda just going completely ape shit, and she exits out
Oh,
of the
just a badass.
of the like reality, and I'm not sure if like you recall like Magneto scene from
I
X-Men
I
2.
didn't when it happened, but obviously when after I watched it, I saw
I was
the
like, holy
people.
shit, that was exactly what I initially thought of. I was like,
I took
"Man,
see it's all this stuff happens. I can't
right,
remember it all,
yeah,
but
and
thanks to the internet.
now the question comes, do we see Magneto at some point? Because in the comics that is a Quicksilver and like Wanda's father. Now like granted in the MCU that is completely different. Wanda is and like her father, but
Yeah, that's
that begs the
tricky
question.
because
Hmm.
that's tricky because it was established already that they died
Yeah. Hmm.
in attacks, so
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah. You can only
It's
change that.
because you can only they had to do something because they really couldn't do that
Yeah.
because it was established that they can use their characters but their own different things
Yeah.
and because it's always they could have picked anybody to play Quicksilver in that,
Hmm.
but they picked that actor,
Yeah.
and it's hard for me to say that they just did that just to do it,
Hmm.
just to tease, but like why why right?
Yeah, and that is the questionnaire. And I also loved Wanda's interaction with like with like with like Vision, because as you're seeing, Vision is finally starting to figure out, hey, this it
Well, he
isn't.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he did figure out, she has created everything, and he's not aware that he's actually dead. So like he's like, Wanda, why are you doing this? And like and like it was funny when he said, you cannot control me. And then like Wanda said, she was like, "Can I?" I mean, it just it's such an interesting it's such an interesting story now compared to the first few episodes, and now we're on the edge of our seats now,
Uh, yeah, and I keep telling people the first three are
setting
the
the
foundation.
setting
Episode,
the table. One would
yeah,
say.
episode 4 put everything in perspective on how the outside world is.
Mm-hmm.
This episode started as a sitcom, the '80s
Mm-hmm.
type of. So they had like the was it Growing Pains or Family Matters kind of
So,
opening with a drawing. I forget which one.
something like that.
Which one had the drawing opening?
Yeah.
But then like it quickly, what's her? I forget her neighbors was for messed up the line. It's like,
Uh-huh.
should I start from the beginning?
Yeah,
And like,
I definitely feel like that she has some sort of like powers of some sort. Right.
there's something because what's Vision's co-workers Nick or whatever, I don't know,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
he's been controlled and then Vision used his power to like
yeah,
overthrow that,
yeah.
and like he was scared, like she's taking everybody's minds up, like
Mm-hmm,
it
mm-hmm.
hurts, and
Yeah,
then put it back.
yeah,
But like Agnes, is that her name,
yeah.
Agnes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Obviously knows it's
yeah.
not, I
It's
don't,
not real. Yeah,
that is, yeah, it's not fake. And even
and
her and the
her own
black
children,
neighbor.
her children even know like this isn't actually real, and we even saw her. She can't change anything involving with her children because they are completely
Yeah,
immune to her powers. So it's just there's so many things going on here, and man, like just as I said, on the edge of our freaking seats. And now um we're we have like what 3 episodes
it's
left.
something I
Yep,
think.
yeah, 6, 7, and 8, which um really interested to see how this season is going to actually end and how this is leading into Doctor Strange, because that film is supposed to like drop next April or something. So we're gonna be in for quite a ride here. And then, as I talked about earlier, Matt, Falcon and like Winter Soldier, that's dropping, I believe, on like March 19th. So basically, right
Yeah,
after like WandaVision is like done, we're going right into
yeah, it's really not a pause, so that's
right.
exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's not gonna be a law,
No,
um,
no, no.
if any.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I'm excited because these next few episodes are just going to, I think, just have really good content,
Yeah,
especially like the last episode. Like kind of has to,
mm-hmm. Right.
you would think. So we'll see how the Quicksilver interaction, how that plays in with that actor. Is
Yeah,
it truly multiverse, which everybody's assuming?
has to be, but
Yeah, I think it has to be.
has to be.
But how's that integrated? Do they mention like how, if any, the X-Men play into it? If there's a soft intro
I feel
into that,
like
how?
I'm not sure if like we will get that, but I definitely feel like this could be the entrance that
Like,
we could see
yeah,
into
like a
some
soft
ends.
entrance.
Yeah,
It's not going to be like the X-Men appear,
no,
but
no.
like little tidbits and information, or at least
Mm-hmm.
setups that like
Yeah,
you can see that makes sense.
right.
And it's going to be weird, like if they do bring in the X-Men,
Mm-hmm.
or I guess eventually they do,
Right.
obviously. 'Cause
Yeah,
they'd
it's
be
gonna
stupid
happen.
not to.
Yeah.
Because they already announced Fantastic Four movie, so that
Mm-hmm.
like that like franchise from Sony's coming over. Like, do they bring in, what actors do they bring in? Like, how
Right.
do they tie everything together? So that's going to be
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's
absolutely.
going to be fun nonetheless.
Absolutely. So, yep, we will be following along as we normally have on the podcast. All right. Now we're going to be getting into some MMA news here, Matt. So, we got some pretty big news on Tuesday. It was announced by Mauro Ranallo and Scott Coker that going forward Bellator will be now exclusively on Showtime. So that is officially is going to be starting on April 2nd, where they are going to be having a light heavyweight 8-man tournament, which I am very excited for. This has been something that has been rumored for quite some time. I was kind of wondering why they were taking so long to announce any cards, because they haven't had a fight card, I believe, since December 11th now, which they were exclusively on CBS at the time. But now all of that has completely changed now, and um, I'm I am pretty excited for this, because it definitely brings back nos- nostalgia, as far as I'm from from like Strike Force, where they were mainly over there. So it's going to be really, really cool. And they're finally on a bigger and like more stable network in Showtime, and they're going to be exclusively on like Friday nights. They were on like Thursday nights, but now with them going over to Showtime, they're going to be having all other cards on like Friday. So as I said, they introduced an 8-man tournament, which is going to be taking place on April 9th. We have for the two of the first fights, we have looks like a Ryan Bader versus versus Lyoto Machida and Corey Anderson, and I'm not going to even try to even pronounce this guy's name. And like Matt, once I show you this man's last name, you're gonna be like, "Oh, what?" Like, think of like the most impossible last name that like you can think that like that
I already got it.
that you can think about, or do like you see it.
No,
Oh,
no.
okay, yeah. Just like type in Corey Anderson's next fight, and I think his opponent's name will
Is his first name like Jan?
no, that's
Okay,
yeah, okay, yeah,
never mind.
okay, then forget about it. But
Wait. Then it's not. Hang on. I'll.
okay, and
Oh Jesus God!
I told you, isn't it like what in the fuck is that?
Devletzan Yugsamornov.
Exactly. I'm not gonna even try
Oh, the
to
consonants. Oh
I'm not gonna
God.
even try to pronounce that
I'm
there.
just gonna call him Yagi. Yags.
Yags,
Yags.
Yags, Yags.
Yags.
He okay. He's named now.
That's
Man,
Yags.
just insane. But also on April 16th, unlike Nemkov, he will be defending his his like recently won light heavyweight title against like Phil Davis. And also on that same card, we will be having the like debut of Anthony Rumble Johnson versus Yoel Romero. Both of them have recently signed with the with the company, and that is a huge fight. A fight I am really looking forward to. Just man, it just I'm hoping that this thing is good and it actually delivers here. Now as far as who actually wins this tournament, honestly, I don't have the slightest idea because pretty much, Matt, every single one of these guys have a pretty good equal chance in like winning here. I'm just really excited to see how competitive that these fights are going to be. We also had announced for April 2nd, I believe, that that Patricio Pitbull, he will be defending his featherweight title against Emmanuel Sanchez. And on like May 7th, May 7th, who was it? Juan Archuleta, he'll be defending his his bantamweight title against some Sergio Pettis. So going to be a lot of fun fights here. So yeah, I'm so
Can
excited. Yep. Yeah.
can I add a thing here on the Showtime deal?
Sure.
I as much as it's good for Bellator business wise,
Mm-hmm.
like Showtime is a premium channel.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Comcast, so do you have to pay extra? And like for me, I don't
Right.
think I get Showtime,
Yeah.
and we're already, at least for cable, we're trying to work on lessening the bill.
Yeah.
So at least for Comcast or TV, we're not going to get it. But obviously you can stream it. But at that point, that's another. I looked at the price, like $11 a month.
Well,
I
supposedly,
think
no, it's actually only $4.99 a month. Not
really.
yep, only only $4.99 unless they completely lied
Because I was on their
introducing
website.
it. Yeah, when
I
they
know. Well, but still,
yeah,
I hate.
yes,
Okay, good Showtime.
Steven Espinosa announced that that it's only $4.99, and for new subscribers you have for the first 30 days completely free. So
It says stream Showtime now. Start your 30-day free trial. Then only $10.99 a month.
huh, I
I
could
don't see where the 4.9.
huh,
You can watch it on, like, you can get it through like Amazon
maybe
Prime, Hulu.
yeah, maybe I
Wait. Wait a minute. Showtime. Let me Google. Maybe you could be right, but that was
uh,
on Showtime's website. Let me.
here's what is with a like new partnership Showtime, a 30 day trial followed by like 6 months of on 4.99 per month. So
Then it goes up.
then it goes up there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
that's the only thing that's like
Yeah. I'm
stopping
gonna
me, because there's not a lot of stuff.
right.
I don't know what's on Showtime that I want besides if I
Yeah.
was watching that. Look,
Yeah.
um,
That would be
'cause
pretty. But
there's too much. Yeah, there's too much
I'm
stuff.
pretty much sure that I like have them Showtime, so I don't think that I would have to pay for anything.
Yeah, you probably, yeah. I would, if that's the case, and then you're fine. But at least for me, I like the Paramount Plus. Like,
Oh,
I'm like,
yep.
do I want it? But that's
I
like,
have
it's getting to
Showtime.
the point. It was like,
Yeah, I got
I
it.
want it to be. I don't want another one. I have
Right.
to pay for.
Right,
Um,
and I completely understand that. Yeah, and just I'm even like making sure that I have here. I'm like, sweet, I do. So I don't have
I
to
don't
pay.
think
I don't have to pay for anything
I
else
don't
on
think
that.
I don't. I mean, I can look for me. I'm almost positive that I don't have it. I know it's HBO because that's why I don't have to pay an extra for HBO Max. I think um,
They,
Epic's, which I don't even use.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah. By the way, I think it's like channel 317 on your Comcast there.
oh, I have to. I'm signing into the thing. I freaking can look.
Or no, sorry, that would be channel three 33 of 39. 339. 339.
Mini guide. Let me turn on the mini guide here. Well, they don't have an HD, a higher 800 channel.
Um they probably do. I just like looked up on their standard
No, well,
on their standard
maybe,
one.
maybe not because it goes to thousands. You might be right. Let me scroll down because I mean I can. Well, I'm sending a text. Why am I doing this? Um. Okay, the mini guide is
Showtime.
not working here.
Or yeah, like HD is like actually yeah, HD is 339.
Okay. Showtime. Okay. Click Showtime Women. I like. Nope. $12 more per month.
Jesus, that sucks.
That's what it says here.
Yeah.
It says
Yeah.
requires limited basic TV service compatible.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's not happening. I'll
Yeah.
tell you that right now.
Well, yeah, I
At least
mean,
for Comcast.
if I were you, I wouldn't even bother. But since I already have paid for it, or it's part of
It's
our
it's
of
included.
our cable, so the,
That's the only thing that sucks. That it's
mm,
well, and to be fair, UFC is technically behind a
ESPN,
paywall too, but because I already have it,
it's
it didn't
cheaper though
hurt me.
too.
We're
It's
buying the
cheaper.
pay per views, yeah,
Yeah. Well, yeah,
um,
outside of those there.
yeah,
So,
but it's just like it's like another one. It kind of sucks.
mhm.
Um, I, I I haven't done this yet, but I kind of want to add up all the how much I'm paying for streaming stuff a
Mhm.
month and
Yeah.
just all these subscription stuff I have. But I don't know. I don't know what if it equals if you cut cable altogether. Like I know there's some people who just do that. They don't have cable. That they just stream stuff. Um, yeah, that how much do you really save? But like, I mean, for us, like I like to watch sports, um, like hockey or watching right now.
Yeah.
Slight delay on the side screen here, but with the Roku stick and the Xfinity app, I'm watching it. Can't stream that
Yeah.
anywhere. There's no subscription service that we
Mhm.
can get that we can watch games, and until that comes out, that like
Which it will will
eventually, yeah.
eventually
That,
will.
but besides like not like NFL Red Zone or like NFL TV or
Mhm.
NHL TV, MLB,
Yeah.
whatever, that you out of network games, that's the only catch. But
Right.
we're obviously in network, so it'd be blacked out locally anyways.
Yeah.
So it'd be pointless unless I want to move like 5 states away and so I can watch or slight not that's even a slight exaggeration, but still one of these days and eventually it will.
Mhm.
Um so I don't know, but yeah, that's what the Showtime deal. When it went to Showtime, I'm like, uh,
Yeah.
I guess
Um.
I'm not gonna watch on a weekly basis, even though I don't watch really UFC like legitly weekly unless there's a
Well,
big fight night.
it would have been. I definitely think, and I was going to be talking to you about this because it definitely would have thrown a like wrench into our like wrestling podcast because as our viewers know, we typically do have that done on Friday nights right after SmackDown.
Yes.
However, with 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 like Bellator now being on Fridays, that would definitely we would definitely have to change our schedule about that.
Something's gonna get
So
messed up.
yeah, so we'll definitely be trying to like
And and
figure that.
yeah,
Yep.
and on
Mhm.
that topic, as let me get this off the screen. Hopefully, um, into next week's wrestling podcast. We already saw this week's technically.
Yeah.
Uh, Probably because my schedule maybe won't happen. Might have to take a week off.
Yeah.
So just throwing that out there to next week's wrestling podcast after SmackDown. Why won't this go away? Stuff on the bottom. Oh, I don't want to go full screen. Will be probably just
Yes.
cancel.
Malkin scored.
Say, damn it, I'm on the delay here. My mom she probably turned it off. She was probably sick. So
Yeah.
usually she claps when they score, and then I hear no clapping. Anyway, so yeah, that's throw that out there. And why can't this stuff go away?
Wow. That might have actually clipped off of the cancel stick there. But whew, what a
Let
gore.
me. Wait a minute.
But
Okay.
yeah, guys. So yeah, that was the Bellator news, and now we're gonna just go on to
Whoops.
a small preview of this weekend's UFC pay per view card, UFC 258, which is being headlined by Kamaru Usman versus Gilbert Burns. Going to be completely honest, this card is
So,
not very
sorry about
strong.
that, folks.
Yeah.
John didn't see it, but we went black. I screwed up.
Oh, okay. But
But keep talking. We're good.
yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be completely honest. Not exactly pumped up for this card. Just it's pretty much
Yeah,
a.
I looked at it. I was like, huh.
It's basically a like one fight card. Um, and honestly, I I always tell myself this that even though these cards are as weak as hell, like I'm definitely am like not buying it, but I can assure you I'm probably 100% am going to be buying this card because what the hell else am I going to be doing on
And I usually
a Saturday night?
surprise.
And they like usually surprise. So Usman versus Burns. This fight to me is a complete toss up. These two guys they were former training partners for a very long time. Usman has since left um that campaign, and he's trained with like Trevor Whitman now. So this could really go either way, and I believe the last time I checked the odds that Usman is, I think he's a minus 360, or and
I
Gilbert
saw it.
is a plus 220. I believe is
Let
that right,
me
Matt?
see. Because I checked it before via DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
Ba-ba-da-ba-ba-doo. They have Usman minus 278, Burns
Okay.
plus 220
Okay.
as
All
of
right.
now.
Okay. So yeah, and I would imagine those are going to be a lot closer once once some Saturday comes here. So I'm interested to see how this fight is going to turn up, just because um, Burns presents a lot of problems. I feel for Usman. He has insane submissions. Can pretty much submit anyone from anywhere that like he likes. I do think that that his stand up hit um Gilbert's has improved a ton um since he has started there, and as we saw from his fight against like Woodley, he just pieced him apart. So I'm just very interested to see how it's going to turn out. As far as other fights, there's really nothing that is really that I'm like just like so pumped up to see sort of thing. So it's hopefully it's like one of those cards where like
The
what you
undercard just over delivers.
times that we have seen that it's it's pretty and it's been pretty common. So yeah, we'll just see how that goes there. And then Matt, I think the last thing that we want to talk about was some recent Penguins news as like we watched them here um right now into overtime, and that is we have a new GM and a new president of like hockey operations in like Ron Hextall and Brian Burke. Yeah, so Ron Hextall, I wasn't really surprised about that. He had been like reported pretty much throughout the whole entire process that he was going to be their guy. But man, Brian Burke, that came right out of like left fielder. How
Yep.
how did you
Um, I
react
had
about this?
to really. I know I've heard of the name Brian Burke, but I had to do research because I really didn't know who he was. Um, but yeah, that was it. Was like okay, it looks like Penguins are gonna get Hextall, which is just ironic and everything.
Mhm.
Um, so it came no surprise. Then, like you said, it was like, oh, by the way, we got a director of hockey operations or whatever, Brian Burke, and everybody's like, wait, what?
Right, exactly.
Because then I think it came out that President Morehouse, David Morehouse, said that they consulted Brian Burke with finding the new GM, and then I guess they wanted a position for him, so they created that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what was interesting about it was like he said that pretty much he was content with just working in like Canada for like for for sports, and there was only specific jobs where like he viewed as like I can't turn these jobs down, and like he viewed Pittsburgh as one of those jobs. So not entirely surprised about that, just because it's been on like record of how big of a fan of Sidney Crosby that he is, and how highly that like he views um Sidney Crosby. So that didn't surprise me. I also feel like he has a ton of like respect for the Penguins organization as well. So
Yep.
I feel like that definitely had a process to play into it, and he just so it's going to be very interesting to see where this team is going to go, because I can tell you right now, Matt, I don't view this team right now as a like playoff team right now. Just been
And
yeah.
if they do make it, I don't. It's one of those they don't go far
Yeah. And I can
unless
believe
unless they make some like trade that like just propels like it just the right one and everything clicks and one of those right moves that you look back and you go, if they didn't make if they didn't make that trade, this wouldn't have happened, type of
oh,
things.
and the problem has been like they have been sometimes way too uh, aggressive, and now we're starting to see now with some consecutive really bad trades that like Jimmy Rutherford has made, and one of the main reasons why the Penguins targeted Hextall was because of his work in Philadelphia, um, and building up like Philadelphia's farm system, which has is definitely is is an asset. And I'm just interested to see if this team somehow isn't going to be in the postseason. Um, Changes are definitely are going to be coming. Now, did like you hear that? Hear what like Darren Drager said earlier
Yeah, about
tonight.
trading Crosby.
Let me let me just make this perfectly clear. First of all, Mario, he would never sign off on any trade for Sid. I just do not believe that will ever happen. Second of all,
Uh,
we
Why
we
would
would
why?
exactly. And second of all, we would have to get such a freaking return to where we are clearly are benefiting, and it would be idiotic to not take that trade. Like Sid is still in the prime of his career right now, and it would be such a massive PR hit for this franchise because to me, Matt, outside of like Ben Roethlisberger, in the last 25 years, there has not been a more central Pittsburgh sports athlete in this town, like outside of and outside of like Mario too, because like he retired back in 2006, I believe. So it's like
Five, 6.
right.
Yeah.
So it just that will never happen. And I don't know why some of these freaking national media people throw this out there just to generate some freaking talk and some clicks. I'm like, why would you throw something out there that you know for a fact is not going to happen? Even if like Brian Burke and Hextall suggested it, Mario would just never sign off on that. And you are would be a complete and utter idiot to even consider it. Like that's
Yeah.
those are the type of trades as to why many of these organizations do not win. Like that just like that just really baffled me. I'm like why would they even consider that? And someone said, well, like if they want to, you know, rebuild or something. I'm like, if you're going to somewhat retool, like I'm trading Latang, um, I'm looking Gino, um, I'm Jake, you know, Rust, like pretty
I
much the
yeah.
whole entire team before outside of like a Pierre of Pierre Joseph, who to me is going to be a really good really good hockey player
Yeah.
for this team. But
I I still want to get rid of Drake because he's
same,
young.
right?
Malkin and Latang, I depending of who you get back,
Mhm.
um, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
And like Latang, I believe he's going to be entering the final year of his contract next season. I think Gino as well, or like he has maybe 2 years left
He might.
on his deal.
He
But
might. It's coming. It's close.
yes, but I definitely feel like those two guys they should be nervous if this team doesn't get in the postseason this year because um, they really need to. I think changes are going to be coming at some point. It's just a matter of like when. Um,
I think
but
it's gonna be an interesting off season, regardless what happens.
yeah, because I definitely feel like that we're gonna. Oh my god.
I think that's a good. Ooh, hoo, hoo.
Oh, Sid just undressed this man right here.
I can't wait to see it. A minute later here on
Oh
delay
my
here.
god,
It's
like
only bad.
he
It's only a bad thing
yeah, of stream. Yeah,
of
pretty
streaming.
pretty much he just
Okay,
unfreaking
he's going up
dressed.
to the puck. Sidney Crosby
Yeah, I
goes
want
to the
to.
left, swings, goes in the middle. Dukes. Oh Jesus Christ!
I told.
You know what? It didn't even look impressive. It was just honestly didn't look impressive, but it was impressive.
Yeah.
All right, here's a slow mo. Deeks, stick handles.
Mhm.
Like the goalie's just like,
Like,
I don't know what you're gonna do.
yeah,
Oh my good god.
that was like, whew, my God.
Uh,
And they, oh, and in case you didn't know, Penguins win.
you,
it, it,
well there.
Ace
Well,
Miners
I just
win.
saw it now. Right, like, literally like a second after you said that the
Hmm.
save was made.
Hmm.
Good comeback from behind third quarter with
Yeah.
18 seconds with an empty
And
net
they,
goal here for the
yeah, the
Penguins.
fact
Like
that
anybody here.
they even got a point out that was insane. But yeah, I'm going to be very interested to see, well, how quickly that Hextall and Burke are going to be quick about, as far as like rebuilding this like farm system, because definitely Rutherford has just, man, was that like, just the amount of first round picks this man has traded in the last 3 or 4 years has just been ridiculous. Um, and a lot of his trades have really backfired, especially the last 2 years now. It's just, you knew at some point that this was going to come back to bite us in the ass, and guys are getting older now. So we knew that this day was eventually coming. And I'm just hoping that it's not such a painful, um, it's not going to be a painful rebuild like the Pirates are going through right now, which that's going to be a good 3 or 4 years before this team is even competitive again. That's definitely not something that I want for this team, but um, just judging for how old that guys are getting, because of Gino, I think it's going to be 35 this year. Latang, I think, is like 33 ish, something like that, and so is Sid as well. The he the like difference is, Sid, to me, I think he's going to be able to be a top five guy for at least the next 3 or 4 years. Or as a Gino, I'm not so sure. He has had a ton of injuries. Just and this year specifically matches, he's got off to a really slow start the season
Yep.
two, and I would say the number one issue with this team is their freaking goaltending by far. And it just, I did not think that it would be this bad, because because like Jari, he played so well last season, and so far he's just been a complete freaking dumpster fire at this point. So that, I
It's
think,
just been way inconsistent.
yep. And it's just like, you never know what you are going to get, and incorporate that with the amount of injuries that we have had on the blue line, with guys of Pedersen, um, Dumoulin, and like Jared, and like Jared injured McCann right now. So
The
yeah,
defenseman.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just it's been all over the goddamn place. But we'll see how the season turns, how it turns out, and like what like moves are going to happen. So
Yep.
yeah, do you have anything else to add here?
No, not really. To be honest, no.
All right. Well, guys, that should pretty much do it for this week's podcast. We would like to thank you for tuning in, and would like to thank you for tuning in also, to our professional wrestling podcast. Are we going to be doing a like NXT take over live 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 stream on
We
Sunday?
can.
All right, yeah. So,
Come
um,
on, yeah.
All right, so then yeah, we will be like back here on Sunday night and be giving um our 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 live reactions for that show. I believe there is like 6 matches on that card now. So yeah, thank you for guys for tuning in, like, comment, and subscribe. And follow us on Twitter at MJ Make a Podcast. Matt and I will be tweeting throughout that show on Sunday. So
Mm-hmm.
until then, for Matt and like for John, we will see you then. Have a good night.